We're back in the hot seat. Dad jokes. Well, I'll tell you what, I would tell you a joke. I'd tell you a joke about pizza, but it might be a little cheesy. How's that sound? I need to get a little drumming kit behind me. Those listening, I'm pointing to the back of my office. I'm wearing my muscle shirt today, feeling confident enough to wear a muscle shirt. So here we are, feeling a little bit tight actually. And don't know if my arms are getting bigger or I'm just expanding in different ways, which may not necessarily be muscle. Welcome to another episode. Geez, it's been a little while. Lots going on. Well, I've been doing different podcast episodes on another site. I'm going to link them all up eventually, so you'll have access to many, which is going to be amazing. But what I want to talk to you about today, guys, is time. It's a really funny. It's such a funny sort of. Well, what is it? A contradiction? Is it a paradox in how we approach it? Like, here we are, just like gluttons of time, burning time away, burning it away. And I'm huge on this with the fathers I work with in RDM. We're massive on being time effective, which is why I'm huge on having a purpose behind everything that I do. Because if you have a purpose behind everything you do, then the time's valuable in how you apply your forces in yourself. And that rings true. And that obviously means that, yes, we're all busy, but yes, we're actually productive. We're producers in our life. We are the producers, the captain, coach, MVP of our star team, the producer and main actor of your own story, your own movie, the author of your own book. And this is important because it is your book. But here's the paradox. Like, we waste so much time, don't we? Like, think about it. Myself included. Like, it's you know, it's a funny thing to look at it and go, wow, we just sort of sometimes find ourselves in a state of drifting and floating. I'm not saying we need to be on edge all the time. That's not what this is about. We're just calculating every second. How can I utilize this second the best way possible? It's about looking at your life and going, well, yeah, okay. There is absolutely times to rejuvenate, reflect. Like, we've still got a TV in our house. I don't really watch TV anymore, but nothing against it. Nothing against those sorts of things. That's fine. We have those and need those periods of an outlet of, let's just relax for a little bit. Hey, it's been a big day. But a big day compared to what? Like, what's the work output been like? What's the ability in which you can construct this level of being a producer in your life to go, yes, I'm getting out there, I'm kicking ass, I'm getting it done. I've earned this rest. Now, I'm not saying you don't earn a rest. What I'm saying is, are you just pushing that needle a little bit to go, hey, let's work a little bit harder here. But we don't. We float. We drift. Sitting on top of infinity. It's quite amazing, isn't it, when you look at the concept of time and understanding that there is no future, there is no past, there's just now. But in a funny roundabout way, like I said, this paradox or this contradiction within ourselves is we waste time. But how much time do you think you have? Ask yourself this question. I ask every single dad this question in our group and go, well, there's no guarantee. No guarantees on how much time we have left. I could literally record this and upload and I could be dead in 3 days. There could be some sort of horrific accident that hits me. I'm definitely, touch wood everywhere. I'm definitely not putting that energy out there in the universe. But look, that is a reality. There are things that you control. There are things that you don't. Now, what your life means to you is what your life means to you. I'm not putting in place fears or fretting or worry or concern. I'm literally saying that, you know what? We need to appreciate and value ourselves. You need to value yourself more. I need to value myself more. Like, your time is valuable. It's very valuable. Kudos to you for listening to or watching this, because what you're doing is you're investing yourself, investing your time in getting something that can shift the scope of your perspective to ultimately put you in a position of power. That's what I'm about. When it's all said and done, my life's purpose is empowerment with significance, empowerment and significance, leadership, courage and growth that are met when you struggle. That's leadership. Lead your own life first. And it's a funny thing too. I made up this quote saying, like, leadership can't be seen. It can only be recognized when it's already done, when it's already passed. And it's in the past. That's true. Like, he's leading right now. Well, is he leading right now, or is his actions shown that of leadership from what you can now see and reflect on? And that's how quick it goes. Like, it's amazing. I'm not here to babble off about all different bits and pieces and points and whatnot. It's just really understanding time. Like, it's insane. How long are we going for here? Like 4, 5, 6 minutes? Who knows? But the reality is, it's already in the past. It's already in the past. It's done. Like, I'll be looking back as an old man one day, and maybe I'll still have access to these computers with these podcasts. Who knows? It could be something completely different. Who knows, honestly? But it'll be like, man, look at you then, Al. You thought you were, thought you were old and all wise and knowing then, hey? I'm just kidding. But look, the truth of the matter is, it's funny when I'm talking about this, out of the corner of my eye, those who are listening obviously can't see, but out of the corner of my office, I've got my Italian jersey there. And that Italian jersey was the last game I ever played. It destroyed me. It shattered my life at the time. It was a really, really hard period of my life, and everything built up to just beating my head against the wall. So much time, but yet here it was. Bang. 12 minutes into the game, under a tackle, shoulder completely destroyed, playing against Lebanon for the World Cup qualifier. Gone, done. In the ambulance, heading to the hospital over in Serbia. No one spoke English there, jabbing me with all these things, injecting all these fluids. Wasn't taking the pain away. I don't know what it was. Could have been sugar water, candy. Candy water. But, here we are. That was, Jesus, where are we? 2011. It's 8 years away. Like, at the time of recording this, there's 40 days left of a decade. Insane, isn't it? I used to laugh about the date 2020 and go, no racism incurred. We go, well, this will be a lucky year, 2020. Like, I know there's different cultures that they love numbers. Numbers, right? I love numbers. I think my dad was the most popular man ever in 2008. His birthday is the 8th of August, and we went out into Chinatown in Sydney. They didn't give us a free lobster. Well, that would have been nice, but geez, it wasn't 60. It was some sort of number divisible by 8 as well. Maybe it was 56. But 8th of the 8th, 08. And we booked it at 8 p.m. It was pumping. It was cranking. Hilarious. But it really is funny when you look at it and go, Jesus, man, how much time do we have? Because there's no guarantees. There's no written book. I mean, the only two things, and I don't say them all the time, I don't want to breathe life into them, but the only two things that I truly fear in my life is, one, my children passing away before me. In a selfish way, I want them to live at least the volume of life I've lived. And if I continue to be a part of their life and help lead them and help them lead their own lives, it's going to be a quality life with plenty of hardships, plenty of tough shit, but they're going to come out the other end and be stronger for it. This is life. And they're going to own their truths, their responsibilities, their roles, their decisions, their choices. That's one thing. The second one is regret. I never, ever want to be in a position where I have regret in my life. And so far I don't. And I feel blessed for that. Oh, yeah, there's been absolute traumas. There are a lot of people who might look at me and go, oh, look at Al go. He's got a beautiful family and he's just doing whatever he wants. And I say this with utmost respect. People have no idea what I've gone through in my life in the last 20 years from being suicidal and depressed as a teenager. My brother's calling me KFC. That was my nickname. They knew I liked McDonald's, bastards. Calling me KFC. All the way through to now. There's been great highs, there's been great lows, but I fucking earned those highs. I busted my ass to get those highs. And you know what? I busted my ass to get out of those lows. Just like I have no idea what you've gone through. And I don't need to understand what people have gone through. You don't need to. You never will be able to unless you walk a day in the life of their shoes, right? And you can't. It's impossible to do that, which is why I don't actually judge people either. But time goes so quick. Here we are, a 13-year-old boy. Here I am, 21 years later, 34 at the time of this. And it truly is amazing. You earn the right to play. You earn the right to play in life. But the way you earn that is by really allocating and looking at time and how crazy it works in your life and going, well, how much time do you think you have and what are you doing with that time? See, for me, and if you take this as an insult, that's a reflection of you. But for me, I do not get value out of watching television. I don't get value out of listening to the radio. I don't get value out of reading newspapers. You read the newspaper, you're misinformed. You don't read it, you're uninformed. Which one do you want to choose, right? I don't. If something is that important in the world with today's world and technology, I'm pretty sure I'll find out about it. Now, when you look at that, that's okay. That's my choice. I'm not saying it's right or wrong or bad. It's just for me, I literally probably 40 to 200 minutes a week. That'd be it. Max 100 minutes. Yeah. Half an hour to an hour and a half a week of television when I'm engaging like with Stella or Lillian, like watching kids movies. That's pretty much the only TV I watch. And maybe like once every 3 to 4 weeks, maybe I'll watch a movie with Corinne and go to the movies maybe once a month. But that works for me because what I value and invest in myself, in those around me, in the people, in RDM, the gym, what I'm doing is more valuable to me I have plenty of time, plenty of ways in which I choose to relax. See, that's the beauty of this, right? You've got that free will. There's things you can't control. Of course, you can control how you allocate your time, how you see the time you're allocating, and how you prioritize the order in which you sequence your time. You can. We've all got duties, responsibilities, and roles and whatnot. Of course we do. Yeah, the reality is I've got more time than ever because the kids don't sleep. Stella hasn't slept forever and she's 3.5 years old. So I've got heaps of time. You all have 16 hours of a day. I've got 22. I'm just kidding. That's definitely not the way to go. I see a lot of movie stars in Hollywood, all this different shit going, hey, just sleep 6 hours every day. Good luck with that. Do they know you? Do they know what your day looks like? Are you a night shift worker, fly in, fly out? Like, what are you doing with your time? Do you have the energy and the output? Yeah, it's so much more than just looking at it and going, what? We've all got 24 hours in the day out. That's bullshit. And we're all desensitized to it as well. That means nothing to you. That means nothing to me. It's what you're doing in the time that you're allocating for you and how you're prioritizing what's important to you to move forward or not. Are you moving forward or not? And the best way to do it, what I did, is to create a shift in state, to change and snap out of the current existing norm in your life that you can find yourself in. It's almost a predicament, right? We're just floating, but we're like the rat race, right? We're like the mouse in the spinning wheel, sorry. Moving, going faster. Yet we're floating. It's like nothing's going, but everything's going. Nothing's going, everything's going. Now, all of a sudden, what is time? We're just bouncing. Future, past, future, past, future, past. Never actually sitting in the now. Never actually experiencing in the present. It's really interesting. Think about that with me for a second. Listening and watching this. Think about it. Oh, I just wish I could be like blah, 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 blah when I was this age, when I was that age. You're living in the past. Yeah, but I just want to get to the X, Y, Z. You're living in the future. Future fantasy. That's okay. You can set goals. Past perceptions, looking at where you were, past pain, past reflections, learnings, of course. It's your life. Both play a role. But what are you doing now? But I got a nut, pull back. What are you doing now? But this was what it used to be like. Yeah, but it's not now, is it? It doesn't have to be. And when you look at that, it's like, all right, well, how can I break down the day? Shifting the state, changing the way I see things and being present in the now. And knowing that this now almost leads directly into the next now, the next now, the next now. So it's like you're really leaning in off the edge of the present moment and you're leaning into your future right now. It's amazing. I hope that makes sense. As my mother-in-law would say, without giving anyone the opportunity to answer. Does that make sense? And now Stella says it as well. God bless her, because I've been taking the mickey out of her. The universe is a wonderful thing. So look, quickly, finishing up, the best way to do that is looking at a different scope. I used to say we've got 86,400 seconds a day, right? And we do. Too quick. We don't connect with that. But if I said to you, what if I said to you, hey, you know what? You've got 1,000 minutes a day. That's assuming. Not that I assume in things that are weighted heavily, but this is not that circumstance. That's assuming you have 7 hours and 20 minutes sleep a night. That's pretty good. Like, to me, if I can get 6.5 to 7.5, I'm okay with that. I don't have to have 8 hours a night. And then once a week, usually I'll have a power nap, or I might have a big sleep to rejuvenate a bit more. But so a lot of you might not get 7 hours and 20 minutes, right? Which means you've got even more time. But let's say you sleep for 7 hours and 20 minutes, 1,000 minutes a day. How's that make you feel? Think about that. Like, ask yourself the question, what would I do with 1,000 minutes? Okay. Cooking food, eating food, bathing, hygiene, all the things that are essential to keep you alive. Yeah. 2 hours, 2.5. I don't know, half an hour for your shower and wash and brushing your teeth, half an hour for getting ready for dressing, whatever. I mean, that's a long time for me, but I'm just overcompensating to really open up your eyes here. So 2 hours, there's 120 minutes. Eating, so let's say eating as well, 3 hours, there's 180 minutes. Let's say you work for 10 hours. That's long, including driving, maybe. Yeah, cool. 10 hours, 600 minutes. All right, so we're at 780. All right, we've got 220 minutes left. I've got 3.5 hours left. That's not too bad. Like, what can you do with that time? Creating space for yourself, family, kids. They sort of intertwine as well. Yeah, when making food for yourself with the family and whatnot. It's an amazing thing. I really like using it. 1,000 minutes a day. And literally, I do my daily planning. It's so easy. It took me 4 years. It took me 4 years to do daily planning. I've done it for nearly 3 months now. It's phenomenal. It's changed my life. I've heard it for so long. Discipline equals freedom. It does, but what does discipline look like to you? See, discipline to me isn't necessarily dialing in and doing one thing and doing it the best. Discipline to me in this scenario is going, okay, I'm going to allocate 10 minutes every night, plan my day for the next day, so I don't have to think about it. It's done. I wake up, the decision-making's done. The choices are already made. I've already made that from a settled version of myself, from a settled, recentered place of being, of what's important to me, what I want to achieve, and go. 3, 2, 1, wake up, alarm goes, boom, go time. And that is the freedom. I never used to do that. I used to think, no, I'm not free if I'm planning my time. No, I've got so much more time now and so much more effectiveness in my time. Try that. I mean, if you ever want to reach out, alex@realdadmovement.com.au, or hit me up. Facebook, Instagram, social media, any platform. We'll have a website going soon, which is going to be phenomenal. I'm excited for that too. But it is true. When you shift your state and the scope of how you see things and open your lens, which is what I talk about a lot, you will truly see that, hey, you know what, 1,000 minutes a day, that's a lot. It's a long time. I appreciate you guys investing your time in this, but this is with purpose, right? This is to help you open up your mind, to give you more time, gifting you the ability to have more time in your life and the way you prioritize it. Yeah, we've all got 24 hours. What does that even mean? It's not that. It's how you prioritize it, how effective you are, and how you execute in that time, in that 24-hour period. I hope you enjoyed this one, guys, on the not the concept of time, the context of time, and how you can apply it, manipulate it, construct it, and bring comprehension to your life, utilizing and using the vessel that is time, in a way both in societal standards and how we construct and really build ourselves as a people, working to standards and structures, but also in your own life, what you're doing for, with, and to yourself and your family, to make sure that you're capturing the moment, you're planning the next moment, and the next moment's a win. It's on top. And if it isn't, we're getting ahead the next day and the next day. And we're consistently moving forward, more often than not, with a strike rate more higher than not of living life on our terms. And a huge part of that is how you construct your positioning, not just physically, but mentally, and applying that around time. Life is like a grindstone. It can polish you or can pulverize you, depending on how you position yourself. Take care, guys. Have an amazing day, night, weekend. If I don't see you or hear from you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.